Read it and weep. Ruben Amorim, Premier League Manager of the Month. How does that sound? How does that feel? Today, we are absorbing and living off of and being fueled by Arsenal tears. Cry us a river. Hell of a month for Manchester United. Hell of a month for Ruben Amorim. After a month and a half ago, people are saying if he doesn't win his next game, he might be sacked. And then for sure, when he walks into Anfield at Liverpool, he's for sure going to be sacked if he loses that game. But instead, we went on the purplest purple patch of Ruben's tenure at Manchester United, purple enough to win Manager of the Month. I'm not sure I ever expected to see this day this soon, especially on the back of what people called a crisis at Manchester United. They might be in the midst of sacking their manager and bringing in a new guy, repeating the cycle. But instead, Jim Ratcliffe came out and publicly backed Ruben Amorim and said, you can hardly judge this guy off less than 3 years, right? That's the amount of time that we're expecting to be able to tell whether or not this guy's cut out for it. That vote of confidence to just silence the noise, to calm everything down, to just shut people up just a little bit, bought Ruben some time, eased a little bit of the pressure, and this guy came up and put his nuts on the table and won Manager of the Month. He's been firm and steadfast in his ways, in his system, in his beliefs, and is not compromised. Now let's just be honest. I'll be clear. I didn't expect him to win. I very much expected Mikel Arteta to get that, mainly because of the anti-United bias, right? I expected Arteta to get that, and not only because of the bias, but candidly, if you just look at, this run that Arsenal have been on, they've won 5 in a row, right? However, if you just look at the stats, if you look at things side by side, the tail of the tape, right? Let's compare and contrast. Both teams played 3 games in the month of October, right? We're talking about the Manager of the month of October. We're not talking about the manager of the last 5 games. So when taking that into context, and that being the basis for how we judge Manager of the month of October, both had 3 games, both won 3 games. United scored 8 goals, gave up 3. Goal differential of 5. Arsenal scored 4 goals, gave up 0, goal differential of 4. United take the edge there, despite Arsenal keeping a clean sheet for the month, which is impressive. Now, honestly, you could have gone with Arteta if you value the clean sheet. I wouldn't have any cries or gripes about that. But when we're looking at the wins, right, the level of competition, how does that compare? Manchester United, we beat Sunderland, now sitting at 4th on the table. We beat Liverpool, now sitting at 3rd on the table. That's 2 wins in the top 4. And Brighton, who are sitting at 10th. Nothing to scoff at. How about Arsenal? They beat West Ham, who are sitting at 18th on the table, and damn, they just beat Newcastle. Newcastle, love a good Newcastle drive-by. Fulham, who are sitting at 15th, and Crystal Palace, who are sitting at 9th. So just level of competition, Manchester United is heavily weighted in our favor. So when you put that criteria side by side and you evaluate, Manchester United have a higher goal differential and have played better competition. It's pretty easy to understand why Arteta did not get Manager of the Month, and it is pretty easy to understand why Ruben, when facing the most pressure he's had in the seat, came through in the clutch and hit a fucking home run. Cry more.